With breaking news tonight, a Fargo police officer that was faced with losing his job following a domestic incident over the summer has now resigned. Jeremiah Ferris has resigned from the Fargo Police Department. The 8-year veteran with Fargo PD was convicted of disorderly conduct in Clay County Court. The charges stemmed from a fight he had with his girlfriend at his home in Moorhead. Ferris would later be sentenced to probation and was ordered to pay a fine. Although we were able to get confirmation of Ferris's resignation from a police spokesperson, no other information was made available.
I've heard cars getting broken into, but not where they take all 4 tires.
Protecting your car typically means removing your valuables and locking it before walking away. But one West Fargo woman learned it's not always valuables inside the car thieves are looking for. They may be eyeing your wheels. Valley News Team's Molly Casey spoke with a woman who says the thieves stole more than just her tires.
I'm so confused. I just can't believe this is happening.
Shirley Ryder has lived in the same building in West Fargo for 15 years and says she's never had an issue. But last night, a thief stole all 4 tires off of her car.
If it wasn't for the lady next door telling me my tires are gone, I probably wouldn't have noticed it till morning.
Ryder had gotten home around 7 p.m. and by 9 p.m. a neighbor stopped by to give her the news. The car she bought only a month ago was on blocks.
I called the cops because I live alone. I'm retired. You know, you just don't think anything like this would happen.
And there's a catch. Her sales paperwork didn't list what kind of tires the car had, and the dealership didn't know either. So when she reported the incident to her insurance company, she didn't know what to say.
The guy at the insurance says, well, what do the tires look like? I said, I just bought this car. I don't look at the tires.
Ryder says her building doesn't have security cameras, but another neighbor told her a white car had been parked in front of the dumpster next to her car for a while Thursday night, leaving Ryder with little hope she'll find her tires.
It's not fair. People shouldn't do this to other people. It's not right.
From West Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Ryder hopes her insurance will be able to cover the cost of new tires, but doesn't know when she'll be able to purchase them. If you have any information, you're urged to call West Fargo Police. Coming up after weather, Valley News Team's Chris Berg was able to speak with the vice president one-on-one during his visit in Minot. What he has to say in just a few moments. Plus, a community remembers the barn that burned down yesterday in Arthur, North Dakota. But first, Robert, we are dealing with some cooler weather after a kind of gusty day and a little bit of snow yesterday. What can we expect for this weekend?
Yeah, it looks like some quiet conditions as we head through the overnight hours, albeit on the cold side. Live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Traffic moving along nicely. No slick conditions here, but imagine there's still some slick spots, especially up in northern portions of Minnesota, where we saw anywhere from 3 to 6 and even isolated amounts of 7 and 8 inches of snow. It's 26 here in Fargo. Feels more like 19. Winds are much lighter, but the colder the temperatures, the less wind you need to have an appreciable wind chill. 23 up in Langdon, also 23 in Grand Forks, 28 in Detroit Lakes, 29 in Bemidji. A touch warmer across our eastern counties where we've got some clouds, and the clouds act kind of like a blanket, keeping those temperatures from dropping too much. Winds much lighter than they were at this time last night. This time last night, we were talking about winds gusting over 40 and even 50 miles per hour, and wind chills in the teens in most locations. 17 in Grand Forks, also 17 in Thief River Falls, Fergus Falls, and in Wadena. I mentioned the clouds. There they are, and they're clearing line just slowly inching its way off towards the east, and that'll keep temperatures from bottoming out over in this area, but about the western 2/3 of the region we'll see mostly clear skies, and with that some cold temperatures. No precipitation out there, none anticipated. Our snowmaker has pushed well off towards the east. Winter storm warnings continue for northern portions of Wisconsin, where they could see several more inches of snow on top of what they already have. Western 2/3 of the country quiet. Off towards the east, a line of showers and thunderstorms all the way from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast of Louisiana. For us, overnight tonight, there are the clouds. They're going to hang tough in our eastern counties and slowly get on out of here as we head towards tomorrow morning. In the clear areas, we'll see those overnight lows in the 20s and teens off towards the east, mainly in the 20s. There go the clouds. Tomorrow, sunshine for a little while, but then more cloudiness as warm air starts to move on back in. And along with that, that's going to spark off a little bit of rain and some snow, switching over to all rain as we head through the day on a Sunday. 21 here in Fargo. So if you are tailgating outside the Fargo Dome as NDSU takes on Northern Illinois, it's going to be a chilly one in the morning, albeit light winds by lunchtime, though, warming it up into the mid-30s, and later on the day, topping out in the low 40s. Picture of the day, Lawrence Lake in Vergas. Thanks so much to Jim for sending this in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast. And after a chilly start Saturday, getting into the low 40s, warmer, windy on Sunday. That chance for some snow early, changing over to rain as temperatures warm up. Snow showers possible Monday and Wednesday. Halloween looking chilly, but dry.
Dry for the kiddos who are out trick-or-treating, which is good.
Exactly, but they'll need to bundle up.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. The Red Lake County, new for you now at 9, a Minnesota man is facing charges after authorities found bomb-making materials near a hunting cabin near Oakley. The Red Lake County Sheriff's Office reports that 41-year-old Eric Reinbold was arrested at his home north of Oakley Friday afternoon. Reinbold was booked into the Pennington County Jail on a felony charge of possession of explosives, along with a probation violation. Authorities were called out to a hunting cabin in Equality Township last Sunday after someone called and said they found the bomb-making materials. Police found what looked like several pipe bombs in a container that was hidden in a rubble pile. The bomb squad from Grand Forks was called in to disable the bombs. Reinbold is due in court on October 30th. During his visit to North Dakota, Vice President Mike Pence is vowing that the United States will continue economic and diplomatic pressures on North Korea. The vice president spoke to the airmen at Minot Air Force Base. He also visited the base's B-52 bombers and intercontinental ballistic missile silo. Valley News Live's Chris Berg was able to speak with the VP one-on-one during his visit. Pence says the Trump administration is committed to strengthen and modernize America's nuclear deterrent.
President Trump is absolutely committed to modernizing our nuclear deterrent force. But I must tell you, being around those airmen and seeing that technology gave me great confidence that our nation is safe today. But President Trump has already begun to rebuild our military. We're working with the Congress today.
You can watch Chris Berg's full interview with the vice president on Monday at 6:30 Point of View on KX4. The owners of the historic barn that burned to the ground yesterday in Arthur say they would rebuild in a heartbeat. However, in a Facebook post, the family says the insurance isn't enough to cover the cost of rebuilding Arthur's barn. The building was more than 65 years old.
Anytime I have ever said Arthur, North Dakota, oh, my parents went to dances there, I've gone to dances there, I had a such and such relative that went to dances there.
And take a look at this. The grandson of the man who first started the barn dances has these tattoos. Eric Johnson grew up with the barn and put some of his favorite memories in ink to always keep it with him. The fire marshal is looking through pictures of the damage, trying to determine what caused the barn to go up in flames. And police are investigating after an incident near a Grand Forks high school forced a lockdown earlier today. Officers were called for a welfare check in the 1600 block of Ryder Road around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now that's right near Red River High School. The school was put into lockdown for a short time while officers investigated. Authorities say a man was taken to the hospital for treatment of undisclosed injuries, and there's no danger to the public at this time. Police ask anyone with information, contact them at the number on your screen, 701-787-8000. A Southeast District Court judge has rejected a plea agreement for former Wells County Sheriff Johnny Lawson. Lawson is accused of drug dealing, bribery, and not performing his duties. He faces felony charges. The Minot Daily News reports that the judge on Thursday rejected an agreement Lawson had reached with prosecutors. Its terms called for Lawson to plead guilty to a misdemeanor drug charge and testify against a drug suspect in a related case. The other charges would be dropped. The judge said the plea deal is inappropriate and doesn't serve justice. The 41-year-old abruptly resigned in April, citing personal reasons. He was arrested about a month later. It's Friday, time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Fargo police say Matthew Braun is wanted for burglary, theft, unlawful entry into a vehicle, and identity theft. We have his picture up on your screen right now. Be sure to call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. Melanoma is now the leading cause of death in women aged 25 to 30. The growing numbers are alarming and the causes can vary, but having contact with any kind of UV light can be a leading factor. These lights can be found in tanning beds, and even when you're outside without sunscreen, you're putting yourself at risk.
We saw almost 150 new melanoma cancer patients just here at Sanford in the last year. And that's significant. And so imagine how many that is throughout the whole U.S.
Officials say to be on the lookout for any changes that your skin could be of melanoma. If you see something that looks darker or misshaped, go to your local doctor before the potential melanoma or skin cancer progresses. A local elementary school is getting kids in the Halloween spirit with a special costume party tonight. The Jefferson Elementary PTA hosted the event for students from kindergarten to 5th grade. And kids and parents got to enjoy a DJ, food, and refreshments, all while dressing in their festive costumes.
It's really fun to dress up and just be with their friends and be able to not have any schedule and just dance and party and let loose.
There's also a costume contest for the kids, a winner for best costume being chosen from each grade, kindergarten through 5th grade.